The Valley of Dry Bones. Ezekiel obeys authority. In the deep silence of exile, beyond the dusty plains of Babylon, a remnant of Israel mourned its past glory. Their hearts were heavy, their songs silenced by sorrow. The temple lay in ruins, Jerusalem a distant memory, and hope, if it existed, was buried in their bones. In these troubled days, the Spirit of the Lord came upon a man named Ezekiel, a prophet chosen to carry the breath of God into the valley of despair. It was at dawn when Ezekiel felt the familiar weight of the Spirit. His body trembled, his eyes closed, and his mind was lifted beyond the realm of man. In an instant, he stood in a desolate valley, a land not marked on any earthly map. All around him lay bones. Dry, bleached, ancient bones, scattered across the landscape like leaves forgotten after a long winter. The air was still, thick with silence. And then, from a ripple in the golden mist, came a figure unlike any Ezekiel had seen. She shimmered with starlight, her robes flowing like water, her hair spun of moonlight and sun. She carried a staff shaped like a tree branch, carved with symbols older than the earth. Her name was Seraphel, the guardian of divine mysteries, the watcher of the spirit realms. Her eyes held galaxies, and when she spoke, her voice sounded like the harmony of wind and harp. "Prophet," she said, "you have been summoned not only by the Lord of hosts, but by the ancient breath of life itself. I am Seraphel, guardian of forgotten promises. This valley, these bones, hold more than death. They wait for the echo of a voice." Ezekiel, humbled and awed, fell to his knees. "Lord, what is this place?" Seraphel walked among the bones, her bare feet not stirring the dust. "This is the house of Israel," she whispered. Scattered, disconnected, dried by hopelessness, they have forgotten the breath. They have forgotten who they are. Then the voice of the sovereign Lord echoed across the valley, so vast and thunderous that even the bones seemed to tremble. "Son of man," it said, "can these bones live?" Ezekiel lifted his eyes. "Sovereign Lord, you alone know." Seraphel extended her staff toward the bones. Light ran down its length and sparked across the dry ground. "Speak, Ezekiel," she said. "Prophesy to these bones. Call them to remember. Call them to rise." Ezekiel took a breath and lifted his voice, his words guided by the Spirit and magnified by Seraphel's presence. "Dry bones, hear the word of the Lord." The wind began to rise, gentle at first, then fierce. It swirled around him and Seraphel, lifting the dust into spirals. Ezekiel cried out, "Come, O breath! Fill these bodies! Let them live!" Seraphel raised her staff. A beam of radiant wind, visible like misty fire, flowed from the heavens. It entered the lifeless forms. One by one their chests expanded. Their eyes flickered with light. Breath poured into their lungs, and they began to move, first with hesitation, then with strength. An army of living souls, risen from forgotten bones. They stood in ranks, their faces now shining with purpose. No longer a symbol of death, they had become the image of restoration. Ezekiel wept, and Seraphel placed her hand upon his shoulder. "This is the work of the Almighty," she said. "When man gives up, God breathes again. When hope is buried, heaven digs it out." "Lord," Ezekiel whispered, "what does this mean for Israel?" The voice of the Lord answered, "My people say, our bones are dried up and our hope is gone." That breath is still waiting. Ezekiel remained alone in the valley, now empty of bones but full of life. He returned with fire in his heart, proclaiming the vision of bones, breath, and Seraphel. Though many doubted, those who believed were filled with life once more. God's Spirit remains powerful.